Alright, so this video is going to cover Chapter 1, The World of Customer Service. This is from our customer service book, Skills for Success. In this chapter, some of the learning objectives that are going to be covered, we're going to define what customer service is. We're going to talk about some of those things that have impacted the growth of customer service throughout the United States. Also, some societal factors that have influenced customer service as we know today. There are some changes in consumer behavior that we're going to highlight, as well as some components of a company that is customer service focused. I'm sure you've been in an environment, walking in a store or business, or utilizing a specific service where you know, wow, this is a true customer focused experience. So we're going to look at that and talk about that. And we're also going to talk about how some companies are addressing these changes that are necessary in the service sector to assure that customers are experiencing the best outcomes when they are shopping. So let's get going. So what is customer service? Customer service is any interaction or engagement that you are experiencing when you are purchasing a product or purchasing a service. Some ways that customers are being satisfied. Companies do make sure and assure that their customers are happy when they're shopping or utilizing specific services, and they do this by customer reviews, positive word of mouth that's publicly expressed or shared, and your returned business. Do you come back to that company and utilize their products or services again? So these are just some key terms that are going to be covered in this chapter, and you can see those key terms here. So I want you to think about your best or worst customer service experiences. Um, you can just put one in your mind. Maybe you went into a store or you ordered something or you had to make a phone call and engage a customer service rep. I want you to think about that experience. Was it your best experience ever where you were just completely shocked about the actual outcome of the service that you experienced? Or was it the worst experience ever? Did you decide, I'm never using that company again? That was the worst ever experience that I've had, and you told your friends or family about it, and you just knew that it was something that you never wanted to experience again. So when you think about that best or worst experience, how do you view that company due to that experience? How has it impacted your view of that specific company? I also want you to think about how often you've thought about that experience. If it was your best experience ever, have you thought about it frequently? Like, wow, that was such a cool experience, or that was such a cool engagement that I had purchasing that product or service, or the opposite. That was just a horrible, situation, and I don't ever want to be in a consumer situation such as that again. So, how often do you think about the impact of that experience? How has that experience impacted you as a consumer? Has it altered or changed your buying habits when it comes to that specific product or service? One example that I'll share is many years ago, I went and had my nails done at a nail salon many years ago. It was probably uh, 15 years ago. And it was not a very good experience for me. The person didn't do a really good job. My nail bed was damaged. And just from that first time ever getting my nails done, I decided as a consumer that's something I never wanted to do again. So that one bad experience impacted me as far as getting that type of service. So have you ever gone through something like that? And how many times have you shared that experience with others, word of mouth? How many people have you told that good or bad experience? So think about how customer service systems originally started, and just think back many years ago how when it came to doctors would come to your home and visit you and check you. Um, if you watch old movies, one of the first things they say is call a doctor. And the doctors had to be available to do home visits. So that was how that service was delivered. Milk and other food products used to be delivered to your door back in the day, and that was something expected. Also, salespeople would show up at your door, vacuum salesmen, salesmen or saleswomen, salespersons. They would show up and sell you different products at your door, and that was a home delivery type service. And also, encyclopedias. Books with all of this information in it. Now we use the internet for everything. But encyclopedia sells persons, would come to your home and sell you encyclopedias, and most people would buy a couple at a time, and then over time, other volumes would be delivered. But that was a home delivery service as well. So with these different delivery methods, they have shifted over time. And over time, people began or consumers began to go out into stores, into brick and mortar stores, and actually shop and search for items, try things on, make sure things fit, try things out, use samples of different services or products to see if it was something that you appreciated or enjoyed. Um, so it says here, as far as delivering, our methods of delivery, do you think they're better today? And it's interesting because before this book was written, this was pre-COVID that this book was written. Now with COVID, most of our delivery streams have transitioned back to home deliveries. So it says, do you think the ones that we use today are better? Absolutely. My answer would be, when you're looking at your different vendors, there's so many home delivery vendors today that are going to compete with each other to assure that you get the best customer service. Because there are so many options of home delivery services, these companies have to perform top tier because they want you to utilize them again, or you'll just go to another one. So this is just a glimpse of that. Some of our top delivery companies. These are the top ones that you're probably extremely familiar with. A lot of you are familiar with Amazon, DoorDash, FedEx, Uber Eats, UPS. Instacart is definitely grown in the market. But today, due to COVID, we have definitely transitioned back to home delivery services or door-to-door delivery. So there are some very common characteristics that customer-focused organizations follow. Um, First of all, they support their internal customers. You might be asking, what is an internal customer? Internal customers are the actual people who work for the organization, like your peers, coworkers, bosses, subordinates. Anyone that's associated with the actual organization is considered an internal customer. Um, Organizations have to focus on the internal customers, the people that work for the business, or those employees will not consider or have a priority for customer service for external customers. Those are the people who come and shop at that venue or store. Also, with today's customer focused organizations, they focus on respect of customers. Um, I know that everyone has heard the phrase, the customer is always right, but more so just having a respect or value for customers so that you can promote that customer loyalty, those customers returning, coming back and saying positive things. Um, Things have become a lot more accessible to customers. The information about products. I know that with fast food chains, many of them begin to post their nutrition on the walls so that customers can see the nutrients, the calorie content, and different things like that associated with their food products. So that information has become more accessible. And then employees now are empowered to make decisions. Um, you don't have to say, "Can I see your manager?" The employees are now empowered to help you and hopefully take care of your needs and make that customer service experience better. There's also rewards of employees for their efforts. There's a lot of customer-based rewards for employees. You have your employee of the month, there's employee bonuses, all sorts of things that companies now do to enhance that customer experience through their internal customers, those employees. Um, Things are delivered in a faster, timely manner now. Uh, I think Amazon started it with this 2-day delivery. Before, when you ordered something, there was always that 4 to 6 weeks delivery, and then you had to pay processing fees, and you just never knew when your product was going to show up in the mail. Well, Amazon decided to create this wonderful delivery system and deliver items not just 2-day. You can now do 1-day deliveries as well as same-day deliveries, depending on how close you live to the warehouse where the products are being stored. Companies are constantly benchmarking and comparing their services with competitors. And I kind of mentioned that earlier with a lot of the food services or door delivery services. That benchmarking, what's working, what's successful, how can we improve, how can we be the best? They're actually creating systems to assure that you have the best service. You can also see here that the latest technology is being used to assure that these delivery streams are running as perfect as possible. And latest technologies, they're now practicing drone deliveries. They're trying to do whatever they can to assure that the customers are satisfied, they get their products fast, and they get them in the best way, best possible way. And then finally, building those customer relationships. There are management programs that actually have meetings to assure that that product to customer or service to customer experience is the best experience. So there are people working to assure that you have the best experience when you're working with a company or buying a product. So telecommuting has become even larger since our economy has shifted. Many people are now working from home. Employers have transitioned their companies to set the stage or create the environment for homework. And we're actually telecommuting through this class because you are in an online class, and I am telecommuting to give you this service of education. So when it comes to telecommuting, what do you think, what different skills do you think a person would need or a company would need in order to have a successful telecommuting experience? Um, One of the things that immediately come to mind is technology. When you're working with telecommuting, you definitely will need some technology skills. You're going to need to know how to use a computer, your headphone device, possibly external drives, other devices related to your company and your product. You might need to know how to use a server or operate in a server, depending on what type of telecommuting services that you're providing. So you're going to have to become more tech savvy for sure. Um, you're also going to have to be aware of communication skills. When you're communicating with someone digitally or through a device or a phone call, you're going to have to really have some insight in that customer management piece where you're assuring. A lot of my customer service reps, when I call in, they're very assuring throughout the call. We're going to help you. I'm glad that you called. We're going to do what we can to assure that your situation is handled well. So there's a lot of assuring, reassuring that things are going to go well through that telecommuting process. So what things can you think of? What kind of skills can you think of that would be needed as far as working in a telecommuting environment? There is an increase in technology in our customer service these days. Because there is an increase in technology, there's also an increase in production and quality. with the increase of production and the use of computers and a lot of machines to get things done faster, things are delivered faster, things are created faster, things are produced faster. So equipment is constantly working. When a lot of things are dependent upon people workers, there's only a certain number of hours a day that people can work. But equipment machines, they work 24 hours a day and they're constantly producing products and putting out different different consumer products for you to purchase and buy or services. They're constantly working, like the internet is a service that's open 24/7. So as a consumer, it's a training for us to want things faster, to have that faster processing of products and services. We want it faster. And so that has been a shift in the customer service environment over the years. That things are easily accessible, information's everywhere online, the internet, and the internet has produced this instant gratification um, mentality with customers because we want things fast and we want it now. And that's now become possible due to that increased efficiency in technology. You're also going to see outside of an increase of technology, there are more customer service jobs because of technology. More people can telecommute or work online or work through computers or work through machines and different things like that. So, how can you keep up with the changes of technology? One way is education, and you're definitely doing that right now. You're becoming more informed about the technology environment, the customer service environment, delivering that faster product and service. Another shift that you're going to see is there are more women entering the workforce. Um, those traditional roles of women have shifted to the service providers. Also, women's incomes have increased or risen over the years as well, allowing more disposable income, enhancing family salaries, since women are entering the workforce more so, you might have two workers or salaries coming into a household, and in those cases, that's going to increase that disposable income for shopping and buying more things, or maybe improving lifestyle, or buying more quality items, more expensive items. So that's going to create a shift in the customer service environment. There are more racially and ethnically diverse populations entering the workforce as well. That's going to create more um, new ideas, new levels of knowledge and experience and abilities in different areas in the customer service arena. So you definitely, as a person working in customer service or presenting customer service, you're going to need to have a better understanding of different groups that are being represented in the customer service environment. Older workers are also entering and remaining in the workforce. So the median age of people working is rising. People are not always retiring at 60 or 65. Some people are working through their 70s. So that's something to consider in that customer service environment as well. And when you're looking at your um, older committed workers, re-entering with this different focus, the book shares that companies admire their work ethic, that their commitment to work and just wanting to remain wonderful parts of the customer service experience. There's also been a growth in e-commerce, um, people shopping online, surfing the internet. Everything is available online. Whereas before, you either had to go to the grocery store or connect with a certain company or business to get a certain product. Everything's available through the internet, seemingly. So that has definitely shifted how the e-commerce market is selling, presenting products, setting up online stores, navigating the internet, marketing and promoting and advertising, social media. There's so many different things that has been impacted by this growth in e-commerce. So with that being said, there has been a shift in mindsets of people. People are being more careful with their spending. Younger people want fewer financial obligations, and now that the computers and internets are widely available, people can do more research before they buy something. They can compare prices. They can look at competitors. They can look at reviews and tell if a product is successful or not and decide to buy it based on how successful the reviews are. So the internet has definitely impacted consumer behavior. So with that shift, consumers are now more informed about prices, quality, and the value of products and services. And the internet has definitely had an impact on this. Customer satisfaction is key. And remember, there are different types of customers. So you definitely have to be aware of who your customer is, who your target market is, and how to satisfy and focus and aim on that customer. So, just some important components of the entire customer service environment. There are six different areas that Chapter 1 presents: the customer, the organizational culture, human resources, those products or delivery services, the delivery system itself, and then what service that's being sold. So these are the six components. And when you're going through the book, make sure you go through each of these sections and really dive in and look at this different material. I'm just going to highlight a few of these. The customer. As I was mentioning earlier, make sure that you understand that customers are not just external. The external customers are the people who come in, clients, people who are buying your products or services. The internal customers are the workers, the staff, the employees, your peers. They are customers as well. Usually, when you work for an organization, you utilize or buy their products or services. And if you are not satisfied, even though you work with that company, you can still promote a negative word of mouth. You can still not support the product. You wouldn't represent it. So, companies have to focus on internal customers, the actual employees connected to the company. They have to focus on that customer service as well. And this is just highlighting how human resources can have a huge impact on a company. So looking at this, companies go through great lengths when they're recruiting, training, and trying to retain awesome workers. There's a lot of competition out there, even for human resources. So when you have a new employee come in and you spend a lot of money training them, there are other companies out there that are looking to hire them and take them on now that they have this experience and training. So an organization has to focus on their employees to assure that they're happy and satisfied and they want to stay with the company. And you can see here it says attracting and keeping qualified employees can be a challenge. So with that said, I wanted to share with you the company Zappos. I'm not sure if you're aware of Zappos or if you know anything about Zappos, but I'm going to present Zappos to you today. Zappos started out as a shoe-only company some years back, and this is their main website. If you just scroll through, now you can see outside of just shoes, they've added quite a few other products to sell with their brand. And so you might be saying, well, why is she talking about Zappos? If you look at their About page, you'll see that Zappos is one of those companies that has a really strong focus on their employees. They know and have learned over the years that focusing on your employees is key to having successful customer service to your external customers. So you'll see on their About page, that they're trying to provide the best customer service, the best customer experience, and the best company culture. And something that they have done different is why I am highlighting them to you today. Zappos was one of the first companies that would pay their employees to quit. Now, you might be thinking, whoa, what does that mean? Zappos was a company that when you were hired with Zappos back in the day, once you finished with training, the company would offer you $2,000 to quit. And if you took the $2,000, you were done. You would take it and go about your way, and that was it. But if you didn't take the $2,000, you would remain with the company, you would go on a salary, and you would continue to work with them. And the reason that they did that is because they only wanted people, employees, to stay with them because they were excited about Zappos. And they knew if they could maintain new workers that just went through training that were excited about the company, then those workers would be excited about customer service, and help grow the company. So people who quit, they were like, thank you, goodbye. They weren't for that company. They were not for Zappos, but those who stayed would only reap the benefits of this wonderful opportunity of working for Zappos. And some of the ways that Zappos um, worked to boost their employee happiness, you'll see here. Um, these are some of their strategies. They had a relaxed dress code. They did a lot of team building exercises to assure that their company worked as a unit. They even had an office library where students could go in, use books, go through different references for things, whatever they might have been working on. They had this access to this library. There was also an internal currency that they incorporated where you can earn money. They call it Zollar bucks. You can win Zollars, where if you were caught doing something really wonderful, or say you met some sort of measure that they had set in place, you would get Zollars and you could spend them in the Zollar store, so to speak, where Zappos had different products that you could just purchase with this money that you earned as an employee. Discounted foods and drinks. They also had relaxation areas where you could go and relax and just get a break. And then finally, it says a place for themselves, just that you had your own space. This was your place where you could go. So Zappos really worked to assure that they focused on their internal customers, the employees, to have the best outcome. When you have people that are excited about your company, you're going to have people that are excited about customers. So I just wanted to highlight Zappos and that company to show you that that internal customer service is huge. And companies really need to assure and focus on their employees to make sure that they are happy with their company. And finally, this is just a list of some qualities that really great customer service professionals may have. And you can see here being detail oriented, compassionate. You might have a customer who's angry or frustrated. Just entering that situation with compassion can change the whole vibe. There are a lot of stores who might have sold a product that was defective, and that happens. But when you go in to say, hey, my product's not working, or hey, this didn't go as planned, when someone comes at you with compassion or concern, it makes everything okay, and it doesn't turn you away from that company. It actually creates a loyalty because you know they're going to take care of you, whether something is working out or not. Being results oriented, someone checking in with you. Hey, did we solve your issue today or concern? Is there anything else that we can do to bring joy? Being a creative thinker, someone who is creative, a lifelong learner, people who are constantly wanting to use that Zappos library, right? To learn new things and to grow as an employee, having good judgment. And this negotiation piece, a lot of times when things don't go as planned in that customer service interaction, negotiation comes in. Well, how about we give you a discount on a future product, or here's a coupon for something free. So that negotiation piece is important. But just going through and reading through these different qualities or competencies of customer service professionals is just something that I wanted to share. And that is the end of the chapter 1 slide. I hope that as you're reading through chapter 1 and these details are highlighted, that you enjoy what you're reading on customer service. Bye.